Hi, I'm Leonard, and I want to share with you how video games, more specifically role-playing games, saved my life. So, my endeavor in playing video games started when I was 10 years old, and the hottest console by that time is the OG PlayStation 1. The sad part is, I don't have a gaming console during those times because we are poor, but still very thankful to my father for providing us 3 meals a day and working hard to provide me education until I graduated from college and landed a decent paying job. I was just blessed to play games when I was 10 because of my childhood friend Gemma. She's the daughter of our landlord. We were just renting back then, and Gemma was the one who exposed me to role-playing games. During weekends, we play together games like Alundra, solving puzzles and discovering the story of this amazing role-playing game. Then we moved to playing Chrono Cross. Then, after finishing the story, we then decided to play the Final Fantasy series. And the last Final Fantasy we played on PlayStation 1 was Final Fantasy IX, before we moved to other role-playing games like Legend of Legaia, Legend of Mana, Harry Potter, and more. And by the way, I was just a freeloader here, as she was the one buying the games, but she never made me felt like it. In fact, we finish one role-playing game together, and she skipped playing in weekends whenever I'm not around. The friendship is surreal, and every adventure we had playing games, discussing how epic the stories are, reminiscing all the memorable characters, and solving puzzles together were some of the best unforgettable moments in my life. Little did I know that those memories and my amusement of playing video games will make a huge impact later in my life, and it will be my salvation from almost killing myself. I am the only child in the family, and I needed to work hard so that we can escape poverty, and my goal was to land a decent job so my father can stop working. I'm not that bright at school, but I have a goal to finish studies and land a good paying job. During my high school days, Gemma wasn't there anymore, as her parents decided to send her to abroad for better education. We are still communicating through Friendster during those times, talking mostly about games, but it's lonely playing all by yourself. And during these times, I am usually at computer shops, but no one wants to play with me because my taste is different. Back in my high school days, the hottest game was Counter-Strike, and real-time strategy games like StarCraft, Red Alert, and Battle Realms. All of these are LAN games wherein you can compete with other players, and in my area, most computer shops hosts tournaments for these games every weekend, and it's wild with all the trash talks. The atmosphere of the place was mostly hostile because of the people's competitive nature. Most of the people in the shop were having fun playing against each other, while there's me sitting in one corner playing Final Fantasy XII through an emulator, or leveling my Diablo 2 character. Even without Gemma around, I'm still lucky because the owner of the shop was kind to disable deep freeze and let me download an emulator for PlayStation 2 games. Back then, torrent websites were the best thing that ever happened to a poor kid who got addicted to playing role-playing games. Every weekend, I play for 6 hours in the computer shop. My parents and I had an agreement that I don't want money for snacks, as I will just eat a lot during breakfast, have my lunch pack for school, and go straight home. So instead of having snacks, I'll just eat dinner and be done with it. Instead of giving me money for school, I want to have money so I can play 6 hours during weekend on computer shops. It was cheap, mind you, and my parents agree with this. Like I have said, I'm not bright at school, but when it's school days, I focused on each task that I needed to do, and my determination to finish studies might also be the reason why my parents also rewarded me with my small request. This agreement continues until I was in college, but instead of playing just PlayStation games through emulators, I now play role-playing games on PC. And the best RPG I have played on it was Lord of the Rings. Everyone was so addicted with Dota during these times, but I was there in my own space, playing an old game for some, but a new experience for me. It went on, as the shop owner keeps installing new role-playing games, until I graduated from college and back in 2014, started playing Warframe. The story of this free-to-play game is just amazing, and in fact, this game is aging like fine wine right now. I finally got a stable job in 2015 after jumping from one job to another. And at this moment, I finally decided to buy a PC. Not a console, sadly, because it would be more productive to get a PC since I needed it for work. I also had the money to provide for my parents, and I even saved up some money in the bank. I was really happy, as now I can play games, provide for my family, and you can say that we got out of poverty, but still living a normal life. All thanks also because of the grace of God. It was going really smooth for years and end up leaving our old apartment to finally get a home of our own in the province. It's like 30 minutes away from the city and from my work, but I still take it because the house is finally ours. We don't have to pay rent, and Papa and Mama were very proud of me. I was really grateful also, since my father strive hard on my schooling, and it pays out. I also got a motorcycle, which I used to go to work, and my father also got his own motorcycle as he continued working, even though I can earn to support us three. That's the thing, you'll never stop a hard-working man, as they will miss what they do. And in his words, he's better working to provide for my mother, as that's what he intended to do until the end of his days. For 2 years after landing my job, we lived prosper. We got food in our table, we can pay the bills. We have our own house, our own transportation. My parents were happy, and I get to play games whenever I want. It was all going well until December of 2017. This was one of the darkest moments of my life. My mother said to me that she got a small lump near her armpit, and it hurts when you touched it. Also, my mother said that her thumb is hurting, and I saw small black blood building up on her thumb. I never asked her about this, as she told me when I was little that she injured her thumb back when she was 12 years old. A coconut stick pinched her thumb while they were playing with her brothers. I did not ask for any more details, as it looked normal, although you can see that the fingernails on her thumb is not even, and you can tell that it got hurt badly but healed. I was more concerned with the lump near her armpit, and we decided to go to the doctor. The doctor immediately suggested a biopsy, but not on the lump near her armpit, but on the thumb that has noticeable dried black blood. The blood is small, but you can see it with the naked eyes. And the doctor said to us that it's possible that the unusual black blood buildup in the thumb of my mother could be cancerous. And the lump near her armpit is an indication that the cancer cell metastasizes or jump into the lymph nodes to affect other parts of her bodies. The moment I heard this, I was shaking inside, but I needed not to show my emotion to my mother, as she's shocked from what she had heard from the doctor. I said to her that everything will be all right, and we still don't know if it's cancerous, and I am hoping that it's not. We waited for weeks, and the result came out. My world was like about to collapse when the result says that my mother has stage 3 melanocarcinoma, a rare type of skin cancer. And the most fucked up news is that it has already spread from the original tumor, which was from the thumb, to nearby lymph nodes or to nearby skin and lymphatic vessels, which was the result of the small lump near her armpit. My mother and I were crying, but I need to stay strong for her, and said to her that I'll do everything I can to get rid of her cancer. We were devastated, but I just can't bear to watch how my father reacted to this news. He was on his knees crying to my mother, and I was devastated even more seeing this sight. But we have no choice but to fight, and I said to myself that I will work hard and do everything to earn money for my mother's treatment. I really thought that the money that my father and I earned will be enough for my mother's treatment, but I was very wrong. The cancer that my mother got is so fucked up, and it's like eating her every second. The thumb began to grow until it was so massive that it needed to be put on radiation, then amputated. Then, the lump on her armpit grew also that she needed chemotherapy before removing the cancer cells. After months of treatment, it was diagnosed that the cancer cells spread on her spinal cord. Suddenly, my mother can't walk and bedridden. The worst is that it's now stage 4 and spreading really fast on her bones, and without the highest dose of morphine, you will see her screaming in pain, gritting her teeth in agony. My father and I were very devastated on what we saw. It felt like we were not treating my mother anymore, but we are just buying more time so that she can stay with us. But on the other side of the coin, we were just prolonging her agony, as we can't provide the best treatment for her because we lack the resources to do so. Then came October of 2018. We lost my mother. In the burial, I was like a dead man walking, and I saw Papa uttering words that my mother should have not died first, because Papa wanted to take care of my mother until they grow very old and die together. My father hugged me so tight during the funeral, and I was very disappointed with myself, because in my mind, I was enough to take care of my parents. But in the end, my finances, my effort felt short, and my mother died. Me and my father mourned for months, as it was really downright depressing to have finally get out of poverty together, but it only lasted for a few years. We were planning to have a vacation abroad, and we won't be able to do that as a complete family now. It was very painful, but life must go on, as my father and I got bills and cash loans to pay, because cancer is no joke, and we were blindsided by the fact that this illness will cause a fortune to treat, and in the end, my mother just died. Days, months, a year passed by, and our lives felt normal, but there was a big hole missing deep inside us, and we really missed my mother so much. But like I have said, life must go on, and during this time, the only thing that keeps me going is to get rid of our debts and give my father a good life. For now, the only reward I get is seeing my father in good health, and of course, I also got to play games during my pastime. It was rough and lonely, but I still got my father, and video games keep me busy when I am alone and overthinking things. And then, COVID-19 pandemic hits. 2019 was the time when I broke, and this was the time wherein I almost ended my life. Sometimes, you'll just feel that life is unfair and you are worthless. And worst is that something unexpected will come to even destroy the remaining sanity you have. My father caught COVID-19 and was on death's door. Just when we are 50% on paying our debts from all the necessary things we need for the treatment of my mother, here comes another trial. And this was the time that I had to borrow money from my parents' relatives, loan money from the bank again, ask financial assistance from the government. Because at this point, I can't work because I was needed by my father, and I also needed to pay the bills for his treatment. I was really frustrated of my life, because all that hard work to rise from poverty was like all for nothing. It's like climbing a mountain with all your hands bloodied, all to get kicked when you had reached the top. It was frustrating, downright unfair for me, and my debt are piling up. And the worst part is, I was really scared of losing my papa. But by God's grace, my papa fought and survived COVID-19. I was really happy and relieved of the fact that I won't lose one of my loved ones again. But after we got out from the hospital, I got laid off from work. My debts are unmanageable, and papa needs medication for his full recovery, while we were quarantined at home until months of treatment is complete. 3 days I was not able to sleep, and this took a toll in my body. Not just on my body, but I was hearing voices, and I was short of breath. I was weak and mentally unstable, and it got to the point wherein I always want my room to be dark. After taking care of my father, I go to my room, then shut down the lights, and just hide in darkness. Then came the day that I saw an excess rope that I used for my swing at the back of our house. Suddenly, a wicked thought came into my mind that the length is enough to hang myself and end all this hurt. I set up the rope in my room, and it was all planned out. I just don't know why this thought came into my mind, but I was really overwhelmed by all the negative things that happened. And the truth is, I don't want to talk to my dad because I don't want him to worry. I want to be strong, although I am hurting and deep inside. I was consumed by fear, regrets, weariness, and the feeling of worthlessness. There were no positive thoughts coming, and I did not even think of the consequences of what would happen to Papa when I ended my life. It was pure emotion-driven, and the thought of uselessness, because after all those hard works, my family still suffered. I planned to end my miserable life, but just when I'm about to lock my doors and execute my plan, I noticed my PC was turned on. This may be funny, but I decided to postpone my end and sit down for a couple of minutes to play Witcher 3. Like someone is urging me to just play the game, and it was my 4th playthrough, and when the mellow music from Skellige hits, I just started crying. I cried until midnight, as I remembered when my mother went to my room and heard the awesome music from Skellige. Then she said that he's proud of me for being who I am. I don't drink, nor smoke, and hell, don't do any drugs. And she said that she's proud of sharing that to her friends. And the only addiction I have is playing video games. We even talk about The Witcher at some point, along with other role-playing games that I have played in the past. It was really a heartwarming talk, and at the peak of my sorrows, I was lucky that I remember this moment. I just kept The Witcher 3 on, while the background music of Skellige is playing. I was crying, and the next day, my father asked what happened, and I told him everything. Life is really hard, and I almost quit. But through all this pain and suffering, I remembered one quote from the Bible also, coming from the book of Job, that says, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." The Lord tests us from time to time, and I know that He will answer my prayers. But admittedly, there are times wherein you just need something or someone to take away those negative thoughts. I'm just a human after all, and I feel hurt and afraid of things that I don't have control or I don't know will happen. Due to what I have experienced, my fear grows and I overthink a lot. For me, video games have helped me a lot in getting rid of those nasty thoughts. When I play role-playing games like The Witcher, it takes me away from this painful world and into a world full of fantasy. It's my escape from reality. And honestly, I'm better off addicted to playing games compared to getting myself drunk, or worst, taking illegal substances to get rid of the pain. At the end of the day, we still need to get up and solve our problems. But I'm just glad that I still have my PC, playing old role-playing games, just to help me clear my thoughts until it's time to grind in real life again. I'm also happy that my father is well right now, but I really need to work harder because he's really old. I want him to live a good life, but for now, I still need to pay all the debts. But I'm working on it, and hopefully, I can make another video in the future that I already paid all my debts and my father is having a good life. So, I hope that you have learned something from my life story. Mental health should not be taken for granted. And if you are like me, that is most likely an introvert, then do something that you love, or play some video games to entertain yourself for a bit before you start tackling reality again. Life is really hard, I know, but everything will be okay at the end.